Nothing unites nations quite like the World Game. 6 cities in Brazil have welcomed 8 teams for the carnival. From the smallest to the greatest. What a party it has been.
Musa away there by Valar, breaks the hit to Echi Gile, and the shot deflects, and the first goal of Nigeria's Jacquerini scores, and Pedro Torres, and it could still come down for Cavalla. Ronaldo's ball in, Chicharito.
But now only 4 remain. It's an all-South American matchup, a game that brings back memories of the 1950 World Cup final match here in Brazil. The dark times have long passed, and in Neymar, the Seleção look to have unearthed another world beater.
Shot comes in, what a start! And you know who, Neymar for Brazil!
Uruguay has its own precocious talents, none more so than in attack.
And now Diego Forlan! 100 caps, a memorable goal. Suarez, beauty!
It's Brazil versus Uruguay from the 2013 FIFA Confederations Cup on SBS.
And so the formal greetings, their first meeting since a World Cup qualifier in Montevideo 4 years ago. Dani Alves was a scorer then in a 4-0 win for Brazil, who are unbeaten in the last 6 meetings. It is 12 years since a Uruguayan win, more than 20 since a Uruguayan win in Brazil. It seems pretty easy to pick the Brazil team right now. In fact, whilst it is functioning this smoothly, it is pretty well self-selecting. This is the 11 with which Scolari began the competition. That means Paulinho is fit again and reclaims his midfield berth from Hernanes. Otherwise, it's the side which saw off Italy 4 days ago in Salvador, including David Luiz, who was injured during that game. Even disregarding the completely fresh side that Tavares picked for the stroll against Tahiti on Sunday, he has been much more inclined to tinker around the edges. He does have his captain Lugano back from a suspension that he barely will have felt. Scotty, sent off on Sunday, cannot play here, but essentially they return quite naturally to their first 11. Cavani, Suarez, Forlan, much goals potential there. At the back, Caceres wins a 50th cap. Near on 100 years at each other's throat, and here they are, ready to go at it hammer and tongs again. There are some in this city, in this country, who consider this an even more important fixture than Brazil-Argentina. Uruguay, the younger cousins, the supposed inferiors from across the border, who have had a habit down the years of making life awkward for the big boys from Brazil. Once more, Maxi Pereira of Benfica. Portugal can wind up to go long with the throw. It's squirted behind by Thiago Silva for another corner. It's not a bad start, this, by Uruguay. Suarez in an ever-present source of potential danger. And typically Uruguayan, insofar as he loves to get under the skin of an opponent, particularly a supposed superior. Forlan's outswinger, referee's seen a push. He's shown a yellow card, and he's awarded a penalty. Well, the Chilean official has looked into a crowd there, and what has he spotted? Cavani was wrestling with Thiago Silva. Luiz on the penalty spot had hold of Lugano, and it is Luiz who is in the book for that wrestling match with Lugano. Diego Forlan. Save from Julio Cesar, national hero. Ear-splitting response. He had a fair way to go. That is no ordinary save. That is a big penalty save. Forlan denied from the spot. Marcelo. What a gorgeous take. And now Oscar can run at them. Oscar's hit over. Oh, maybe Brazil needed waking. With 60,000 screaming for you, that ought not to be the case. Oh, there is the issue, and Luis was trying to rob Lugano of his shirt. It's a very good spot by the Chilean official. He's absolutely right to give it. Forlan hit it crisply enough. Julio Cesar had to plunge to his bottom corner. Not much wrong with Forlan's take. Everything right about Cesar's reaction to it. And he is swamped by yellow shirts. Flung in again by Pereira. Cesar came, Rodriguez loops his header up and over. That's a prolific goal scorer, Christian Rodriguez, in the national shirt. Looking to feed here off Cesar's decision to come and to punch. Here's Hulk. And again Hulk. Fell for him a little fortuitously with Oscar in front of him. But for a moment it really seemed to have opened up. Strong in the first instance, but then off Oscar's perhaps inadvertent touch. Some way off target. Alves. Now Rodriguez. Forlan. Forlan! Oh, that's close. Not a long way away from atoning for his failure from 12 yards. From 20 yards he curled it to within, what, half a metre of the crossbar? Perhaps less. Here is Oscar, around Cavani. Out by Lugano, comes to Marcelo, driven in by Marcelo, dabbed out again by Lugano, kept by Hulk, stolen on for Oscar, and then Marcelo, who's just kept on going here. Marcelo, Fred! Wants a corner, not getting one. We'll see how strong his case is. Marcelo was strong shoulder to shoulder with Pereira. And it is, in fairness, clear that Godin got the last touch. And Brazil should have a corner. Alves. Hulk. Barged off it by Rodriguez. Notwithstanding the penalty save, it's a game that reminds me of Brazil's game against Italy at the end of the group stage, which was goalless right up until the very cusp of half-time, you'll remember, in Salvador, when Dante eventually broke through for Brazil. Here we are within 5 minutes of half-time now, and still awaiting that breakthrough. Forward by Paulinho, taken by Neymar, and Fred's in there, and scores! Brazilian breakthrough! It's Fred again! Once he starts scoring, there's very little stopping him. 2 goals to see off Italy on Saturday. And now he's tucking into the Uruguayan rivals. Back in the scoring mood. Lovely take from Neymar, good save initially from Muslera, but Fred just knew where to be. That's why he wears Brazil's number 9. He sniffs a goal. He just knows how. Some sympathy for Uruguay's keeper, who did everything he could. Mishit or deliberate, only he knows. But he found the corner, and he has 3 goals in the competition now, and he has Brazil, as things stand, heading for the final. Tapped out for Forlan. He's looking to prompt Suarez quickly. Not short of talking points. Shaken head of Luis Suarez indicates the grey-faced feel of Uruguayans, brought about by this strike from Fred, following up on Neymar's originally saved goal-bound shot. It is feisty and it is thrilling. It is right on the edge, and at half-time in Belo Horizonte, it is Brazil 1, Uruguay 0. Gorgeous scene, sun setting over the stadium. Tens of thousands of yellow Brazilian shirts ready to be celebratory and to send their national team on the road to Rio for the final. And just a sprinkling in the light blue of Uruguay, who had their chance, let it slip away, and now have to chase it. Marcelo, taken back by Pereira. Cavani. And Luis Gustavo, and then properly cleared by Oscar. Aravalo. Rodriguez. Forlan. No one more eager than him for Uruguay to find a way back into this. Rodriguez. Pereira. Rodriguez. Suarez. Luis with a semi-clearance. Pereira following up. Cavani equalizes! Now that changes the mood. Goal, La Celeste! Edinson Cavani finally impacts on the Confederations Cup. And it is right back in the mix. Those in the tiny minority have their moment. So many times Brazil might have got this away. Luis struck it against Suarez. Weak clearance from Silva. Spearing finish from Cavani. And 3 minutes into the second half, we are back where we started. His 15th international goal, his first of this competition. Hulk got clear of Aravalo, fed it in for Fred, and moved it on for Neymar. Hulk, Godin's challenge, referee was close and gave nothing. A few thousand behind the goal who gave a penalty. Another big call for Senor Osses. There's Godin's shoulder-to-shoulder challenge with Hulk. Think if a penalty had been given, you would have said it was a soft one. Hulk lining up behind the free kick. It does lend itself to his left boot, and he has scored from extraordinary distances. It's Hulk. Muslera taking no chances. When he strikes a football, it stays struck. In by Hulk. And all the way behind. Throughout his time with Porto in the Portuguese league, Hulk became famous for scoring from extraordinary range. That has continued with Zenit St. Petersburg. And perhaps aware of that reputation, Muslera was taking no chances by attempting to catch. Neymar. Oscar. Fred. Hulk. He's asking a lot. A scorer, as mentioned, of spectacular goals. But here's the boy. He is little more than a boy. Look at him. Such innocent, useful looks. Born a little less than 21 years ago in this city. He's their boy. Coutinho is a threat to Cesar, so is Lugano, the two centre-halves. Whipped in by Forlan, oh, just over. Suarez dashing at the near post, getting ahead of his man, and seeing his header deflected over the crossbar. Non-stop live wire, Luis Suarez. Forlan's corner. Out as far as Rodriguez. Further clear from Luis Gustavo. Bernard. Nice touch from Marcelo. Bernard again now. He's nippy and quick. Marcelo. Alves. Bernard. And still. Bernard. Fred! He's impacted well. The little substitute. That's an excellent Brazilian break. So Uruguay were mighty close themselves. Suarez got ahead of Silva, and Silva got a little lucky. Beyond Bernard for Marcelo. Neymar into the face of Lugano. Out to Bernard. Niftily clear of Cavani. Marcelo. Bernard. That's a really good ball. Oscar. Neymar! Now that would have been a thing of beauty. That was proper, tight, penetrative Brazilian passing. Oh, it's line one up! And to Muslera. Saw it all the way. There's Gustavo with a bit of speculation from a fair way out, but it was a piercing strike from the Bayern Munich man, who's never scored for Brazil. Cavani has done really important defensive work for Uruguay today, quite apart from the goal he has scored. And there are more little exchanges inside the 6-yard box here that the Chilean official is really having to keep an eye on before Neymar plays in another corner. Brazil back in front! Plunders at the back post, and they're within 5 minutes of the final. A great heap of Brazilian joy. And Paulinho joyously at the bottom of it. However young, however old, however new to the bright-eyed look of Brazilian football, they are all united in joy and relief at the big leap of Paulinho and his sure header, which means that the host nation are closing in on a Rio final. A goal against Japan in Brasilia in the opening game for Scolari, and Brazil for Paulinho, and now a goal here that is more than likely to secure them a place in the closing game, the final itself. If it's going to happen, it's got to happen very soon. In by Forlan and headed over for a corner. They've committed everyone forward. They are committing everyone forward. The goalkeeper is coming up. Fernando Muslera joins in. Could this be a moment of great drama? In by Forlan. Out and away from Muslera. Gargano must get there first. And can't afford to lose possession now, nor does he. Caceres. Gargano. Suarez. Luis Suarez. Corner given. Suarez hoped for more. And once more, Muslera will stride forward. 30 seconds of stoppage time to play. Forlan to take, right at the death. Now or never. Cesar comes. Brazil get it clear. Only to Pereira. Aravalo. Out as far as Bernard. Foul on him by Pereira. Brazil have a free kick and 48 minutes are up. They are nearly there. There's Suarez trying for a penalty. He didn't get. The final whistle goes. Get ready, Rio. Brazil are coming home to you. For the third time in a row, for the fifth time ever, Brazil will play in the Confederations Cup final. But this time is different, because this time they are at home. Brazil in Brazil. The beating heart of football. A year before the World Cup, all the good habits are flooding back. The good feelings, the way it historically has been. Much sympathy for Forlan, who had that penalty chance in the first half and saw it get away. Much sympathy for Uruguay as a whole, who competed so hard. But Brazil have done it their way. They are in their final. The Maracanã will be a magical place this Sunday. Final score in the semi-final, Brazil 2, Uruguay 1.